One of the things I've been dreading the most is cutting off these front brackets for the bonnet. I finally got around to doing that, and I think I'm going to start to take a look at cutting them and removing them. So let's take a look at that. So this is what it looks like. This one I haven't touched yet, but I went ahead and started on this one, and I've cut it off, and this is it right here. I've removed it, and as you can see, it's considerably different from this. It's a lot longer, and so all I got to do is get the right angle, but it's not. They're not the same, and so I'll transfer this one over there, and we'll go from there. Actually, it's upside down. That's how it sits, and you can see there's considerable difference between the two of them, and so it's got to be transferred. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an inclinometer. I'm going to set it right here, get the exact angle that it is, and that way I'll know exactly what to set that angle on when I transfer it to the other cross member. So let me get these cut off and let me get them ready for welding, and I'll come back to you in just a little bit. So let me cut this off. Let's go from here and see how it looks. That easy. Well, I want to give you a good look at this before I repair it. This is the side that I thought all along that had been hit at one time. The measurements don't come out exactly on the ends as they do compared to the original one. It looks like this has been hit and somebody's done some repair. I'm going to grind all of this smooth. I'm going to fill in these slices where I cut it off, and then we'll re-weld the other ones in place. But the other one, the other side, you can see it's very similar, and we'll get it ground down and welded up, and then we'll attach the new or the old bumpers to this. Well, I got this one ground down. I think it's ready for welding here, but I'm going to start on this side right here. Apparently this was cracked open, and I had to shape that hole. I'll fill in these others. I'm not sure whether I'm going to put a patch in here or if I'm going to just try to fill that with weld. I'll see how it goes. This looks like pretty good metal, so I should be able to weld it up and grind it down. But as you can see, this has a pinch right here. So I know for a fact at some point in time this thing was hit in the front. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get these things straightened out and get them as close to original as I can. So just kind of hang with me and let's see what happens. got such a considerable gap right here, what I'm having to do is fill it in. I'm welding on each side and bringing that together and dragging it from one side, just a Z pattern. That way I can fill it in. Folks, Frank's back, so say hello to Frank.
Oh, you're recording right now?
Yeah.
Where's the phone?
Hmm?
Where's the phone?
And close this big old hole up. All right, this side is welded up, and I've got a through hole back put into it. That actually was covered up, and it's a pass-through hole for a bolt. But I think I've got it as smooth as can be. Oops, still pretty warm. Smooth, we're ready for weld the other bracket on. Now I'll go ahead and check this other side. But before I do that, I'm gonna pull a tape measure from here to the ground, and then on the opposite side. Since I have some slits in here, if I need to make an adjustment on the end, it'll be easier to do it now that it's got some relief cuts in it. So we'll measure this also from here, from the corner here to the ground, and we'll see what we got. Hey guys, and welcome to the Ironman Garage. Today is a quick day, a little power hour, as Chef Tush often says. You get out there and do a little bit you can, and every day you do a little bit more, and soon your list is whittled down to nothing. So as we left off yesterday, was welding these brackets on. I was in a little bit of a concern about what the angle was. I had different angles on the original frame using these brackets, and with a quick internet search and shout out on Facebook, my friend Chad Jester sent me the data page from the manual that showed that these brackets should be at 90 degrees perpendicular to the frame or 0 degrees vertical. So I removed them off, and I got ahead and took a quick time to weld them in. So I've got them welded in place right now, and I think they're going to be well secure. So they are both complete. I'll use this time to now I've got to remove the radiator support brackets and transfer them to the new frame. In the Herald, it uses the radiator a little bit farther closer to the motor. 2 less cylinders. In the Vitesse, or Sport 6 as we call it in the United States, the radiator is moved forward closer to the grill. So these brackets have got to be removed and then welded back onto the frame. And again, they will sit in the same position as the other frame. So what I've done today is I've taken a sample of this frame. I took a piece off the frame, took it to my paint shop, and they are matching this. Now here's the thing I've never done. I've done a lot of powder coating over the years, but I've never actually had to paint over powder coat. So if any of you guys have ever done that and have some insight, I think what I'll do is I'll just scratch this up with a Scotch-Brite pad, prime it, and then I will just top coat it with matching paint. So let me show you real quick. I used an inclinometer. Here to set the angle on this, and I've got it pretty close, 89.6 degrees to 90 degrees relative. So that's close enough. The other one's actually dead on. And if you move this around, depending on where you set this, inclinometer, it's going to read a little bit differently. But that's really close to vertical, so I'm happy with that. So I'll just leave it at that point right here. And so Like I said, we'll just continue cleaning up this bracket and getting ready for a little bit of paint, transfer these brackets, and that'll be my power hour for today. I'll get back with you and show you some updates as we go through.